Welcome to the Coaching Book Club podcast, the show that empowers coaches through books. I'm Christy Stuber, here with my friend and co-host Ken McKellar, and today we're talking about The Canary Code, a guide to neurodiversity, dignity, and intersectional belonging at work by Ludmila Praslova, PhD. Here's what you can expect in this episode. First, we'll share a quick overview of the book, what it's about, and why it matters to coaches like you. Next, we'll break down some key takeaways that stood out to us and how they might inspire you to reflect on your own practice. Finally, we'll talk about how we've been applying these ideas in our coaching practice with some strategies you can experiment with in your own life. Hello, Ken.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Good. So what did you think of this book?
I thought the book was very educational. I mean, if you are a leader, and even more than a leader, but you wanted some ideals of what working with neuro neurodiverse groups could look like in your organization, this right here gives you it gives you framework and a checklist.
Mhm. Yeah, very instructional. The quote from the beginning of the book that stood out to me was holistic neuroinclusion means social, cognitive, emotional, and physical sensory inclusion. And organizational statements and PR cannot create belonging because it's a process on deep emotional and embodied levels. And that made me think about my coaching practice, like my business, and how I'm creating belonging specifically for neurodiverse folks through my presence, through my systems, through my flexibility. What am I doing to demonstrate neuroinclusion and how I coach? And those were my takeaways from this book, were really very practical. What are ways that I can build that into my existing practice to ensure that I am creating that belonging? And I can start with my first takeaway if you'd like.
Please.
Yeah. Um, so she talks, her book is really geared towards employers and leaders and how they can bring this into their businesses. And she talks about something called pre-boarding. So not onboarding when the person is hired, not onboarding when we are, bringing a client on as a paid client, but pre-boarding, which is designing these early stages of that client relationship. And so including things like understanding individual needs. What am I doing in my chemistry sessions to make sure I'm really understanding my client's needs in all ways? That might lead to practices like, what does my paperwork look like when I'm bringing on a client? Um, how am I explaining the process and expectations of coaching and our roles independently of each other and together? How is my communication clear and consistent? So it connected to me back to the core competency, cultivating trust and safety. We think about this in session, but this made me think about it before even the first conversation, that first email that I get with an inquiry, or maybe a connection that's being made. What am I doing to honor my client's unique processing needs throughout that whole process? Um, and so thinking about like what are the assumptions I'm making about my client onboarding process and pre-boarding, like even the inquiry process, and what check-ins can I build in to make sure that I'm meeting them where they are and with what they need. And you can think about this as like customer service, how am I building customer service in my practice? This book helped me realize this is neuroinclusion in action. It's not just giving a good service, it's it being inclusive in everything I'm doing. What are your thoughts?
I went to Walmart the other day and I only had cash. I left my wallet at home and I was short about 27 cents. And I said to the lady, listen, I'm in a rush because I'm going to see and meet with Christy Stewart. And she said, Christy, you know Christy? I said,
Stop it.
I know Christy. And she reached in her pocket and got 26 cents, took a penny from the take one, put one jar, and I was off and running. So I'm just so happy that I get to hang out with you and you get to give those incredible insights about the books you read and how you bring it in to your coaching, not just today, but every day. Not just every day, but our conversations. You amaze me sometimes. And what you just said there was amazing because it is part of, for me, of how can I bring this into my awareness, right? Whether it's going to the extents that you did and right, bringing it into your practice or bringing it into my education and coaching with folks or acceptance as I'm listening to this with folks, because these are conversations. And I think more and more we are starting to have them in the coaching arena. So making space for it, these books, I think it's very valuable. For me, I got a lot of education out of it. For me, I didn't really get to the application aspect of it like you did. That's why I'm in great awe. But I did get educated in terms of like a lot of wow. I never thought about that. Ooh, that makes sense. Ah, that's a good idea. And some, yes, I know I've been knowing that for a minute now. So that's kind of what how I'm moving with this book.
Mhm. Yeah, I think the book reminded me, I'm always looking for that why underneath, why do this? And it reminded me of like things that I'm already doing too, that I do because of personal preference, and there's a value to it for neuroinclusion. So, um, I'll be curious what your preference is on this. So she talked about honoring communication preferences, right? So giving options for people to have audio only calls or video calls. And I've always done that. And even when I'm on platforms that only do like a video offering, they don't do a phone call offering. Um, I always offer to turn the camera off if the person prefers to do it that way. For my own practice, something that has been really beneficial that she highlights is turning off the self view. So when I'm talking to you right now on Zoom, I don't see my little box because that stresses me out. It gives me another thing I'm focused on and takes me out of the listening of the session. So even understanding like how it helps me to have those options, how it helps me then help my clients when I have options, when they have options, is really useful. How do you like to coach? Do you have a preference between audio and video?
No, I don't. I adjust either way. If it's nah, I don't. I mean, I have a neurolinguistic NLP background, and one of the things that we was taught early in the training was, you know, visual, kinesthetic, and auditory, right? And so really having appreciations for those forms of like how people take in information. So when you're talking to people, you want to, so how are you feeling along that? Or how do you see that? Or does that ring a bell? Like using those systems, representational systems. So for me, I I I yeah, I can do the gamut. I have my own preference, right? If you don't know what your preference is, you know how to find out your preference?
Hmm.
GPS, right? So when you're riding down the street and your GPS system tells you something, do you need to look at the map for reassurance or are you okay hearing what they're saying. Like, can you do a GPS with it turned off? I can't. I need you to say, hey, turn left on Rosary Boulevard, turn
Mhm.
right on Chemistry Road.
Mhm.
Right? I need to hear that. If I don't hear that, I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. There's the map right there. It's showing you. It's pointing you to the next turn. I need to hear it, right?
Mhm.
Because I'm auditory, in
Mhm.
that aspect.
Right.
So the answer to your question is, I do think it's important. Sometimes I forget. Um, and this book was a great reminder of making sure that you're leveraging those those what you just said. I mean, those what you said. I mean, even the platforms providing different options, choice of how people want to participate in their change mechanism.
Mhm. Yeah, right. The options, the choices. Well, I had one more takeaway, if I can share. And this was thinking about how the coaching session is actually run in a way that is neuroinclusive. So
Uh-oh.
she had a whole checklist. Again, like she's got great resources, great checklists. I'm just pulling the things out that landed for me for how I want to think about my practice, things I'm already maybe doing or things I want to do. And so she's got this fantastic checklist in the book designed for meetings, all kinds of meetings. And I pulled a few items out of that that I thought would be useful to remember. Um, the first was clear agendas. You know, I find that when I tell my clients, here's what you can expect from every coaching session. You're going to come in with a topic. I'm going to ask some questions. We're going to explore. We're going to then sort of integrate learning that helps them understand what to do. Um, use of client's language, and we talked about that a lot in the episode about Haisoon Moon's book, Coaching A to Z, how important it is to use our client's language and not try to bring our own language into it. I loved what she talks about in the book about valuing learning over perfection. I think that's very much a coaching value that we certainly cultivate in our learning at the end of each session, throughout the sessions overall, and the engagement. And and the one I wanted to really think about is continuous improvement, which is how do I continue to get feedback from my clients on how the coaching is going, what they might need from me, um, what I might be doing too much or too little of. So not as a performance review, but as a way to cultivate the relationship and to create more of that sense of belonging. What do you think?
Cultivating trust and safety. Yeah, I like that. I mean, I like that, and I hear you.
Yeah.
You do that anyway. I mean, that's not new, is it? I mean, I know you, and I see those things in you.
I would say it's not new. It's a good reminder of the importance of it. Again, it's the way my brain works is I want to know what's the why? Why am I being told to do this? And so when I see it from different angles, I can look at the why, why competency eight? Oh, from the neuroscientist angle, it's this. From the neurodiverse angle, it's this. From the linguistic angle, it's this. Then that helps my brain um, get more excited by it and more wanting to do it when I can see all those reasons. So I just said a lot of things that I'm taking away. What are you going to bring into your own practice, do you think?
I think words matter. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Um, um, Language choice shapes, you know, dignity and belonging, how we use it. So just being aware of that. And like, I mean, she talked about the was it pre-boarding? That was what
Mm-hmm. Pre-boarding.
yeah, first onboarding. But I like that whole idea of pre-boarding as a coach and really not only understanding what is it that you want out of the session, but also like how do you want this session to, to go?
Mhm.
Do you, do you want information? Are you collaboration? Are you seeking just to talk? I mean, what is it? How do you want the session to go? What do you need? right, from me in the session. Ken, just sit there and
Right.
be like Nancy Klein or Bruce Lee, whatever. Either both of them, still quiet. Let's be quiet, right? And just be with me. Just be in tune with me. Right? Is that what you need? Okay. So that pre-boarding, just that little bit of information. And as it comes to as far as I'm a storyteller, so I may not be as one, two, three, right? So even knowing that, Ken, I need one, two, and three. That's really helpful. So
Mhm.
being inquisitive about what that person may need. And since I'm in charge of the process and they're in charge of the content, I think it's apropos for me to really be in tune to how this can be as smooth as possible for that person that's sitting across from me.
Yeah, that's really, I appreciate all that thinking that you're sharing. I also am reminded for me from my practice of again, the way my brain wants to work is to make a lot of assumptions because it's easy for my brain to do that. And assumptions are not useful, and me assuming, oh, this client knows what coaching is. They might not. And so all those check-ins, useful not just for neurodiverse brains, but also for every brain, because we're all different in different ways. We all have different ways of being. You're the storyteller. I might a little bit more of the one, two, three. And so checking in on that is so important.
You know, I was my daughter did a triathlon. She did amazing, right? But I had took her bike to the car, and as I was walking back, um, a father was walking with this little girl, and he said, um, "You have to be disciplined to do the triathlon." And she almost broke down in tears and said, "Well, why do I have to be disciplined?"
Mm,
She thought
no,
she was in trouble.
right. Oh, yeah. Right. So her brain heard it like, you're going to be disciplined because you did
Right,
this, not that
right.
you have this trait of discipline in you to be able to do this. Right. Good, good example. Really great example. Thank you for sharing, for closing us out on that wonderful story. So, Ludmila Paslova's book, The Canary Code, is a call to action for creating inclusive spaces, not just at work, but also in coaching. And if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe to the Coaching Book Club on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. And we'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. Follow us for more coaching insights and updates about upcoming episodes. Before we wrap up today, we want to remind you about a truly transformational event coming up very soon. ICF Converge 2025 is in San Diego. Ludmila Praslova is one of the signature speakers. ICF Converge is more than just a conference. It's a global gathering of coaches, thought leaders, and change makers. Whether you're looking to deepen your coaching practice, connect with fellow coaches, or get inspired by cutting edge ideas, Converge is the place to be. You can get more information at icfconverge.com, and we hope to see you there. So for today, thanks for being part of our community. And until next time, happy coaching.